evening, everyone who's present here at the Kaffee Am Salzsee. This is Wriddhaayan, and really honored to have with me one of my oldest friends, Arinjoy, who's a brilliant blues guitar player in the city. Not a guitar player, a blues musician, a blues artist in the city. And with him, we have Amyt Datta, Amyt Datta. And it's a pleasure to have you here, Amyt Datta, because I know I've been chasing you for a while. I've been trying to get this done for a long time, and you've sliced out some time from your busy schedule, which means a lot for us because we are a startup in this city. And as I was talking to you that this happened during the pandemic, a lot of good things happened over the pandemic, which includes this cafe. So thanks to all of you who've turned up here, because this is the fourth installment of the Salzsee Podcasts, and Arinjoy has been here before. Amyt Datta is coming here for the first time. So first of all, how do you all feel, coming to a cafe for a podcast in Calcutta? Have you done something like this before?
Well, it's always great to talk music and have a cup of coffee and a good conversation. So yeah, it's great. And like I was just standing outside and having a smoke. Apart from being a great setup, it also beautifies the city that we live in, look-wise and vibe-wise. These are important issues that people should recognize, that it's your effort and invest and whatever your business or your work, but the city also benefits. That's a great thing, and the best part is suddenly we become friends. The strangers suddenly on a moment become friends over a cup of coffee. So that's great, and thanks to guys like you, Riddhi. Yeah, fantastic.
Arinjoy, this is your third time here.
Yeah. I just come here to chill. but yeah, it's the place is really nice and it's got a very cozy vibe. And yeah, I love hanging out at cafes. You'll see me quite often in them. I'm a foodie as well, so.
And it very often entices me to have some very sinful chocolates.
I was going to ask you that, the other day, I keep bumping into Arinjoy at Blue Tokai and Lake Road, that area, because we stay in that area. He was telling me the other day that both of you go for hot chocolates at Mrs. Magpie. Is that true?
Yes.
Where all do you all go to for hot chocolates and these kind of coffee and treats?
Wherever we can, because I'm the one who makes the evil call. Are you free in the evening? And although he doesn't want to, I'll still bring him out. And invariably we'll have something.
So how is it to play together with your guru? And this is a very nice student-teacher relationship which Amyt Datta has with a lot of other students as well. So how is it to play with your guru and vice versa? Amyt Datta, how is it that, I know that you love jamming with a lot of your students. I've seen you play with Bodhi also. So now it's Arinjoy you're playing with. I'm sure you'll be playing with some other guys also soon. So how's the exchange? If you can throw some light on that.
So the first time he asked me to play with him on his project was back in 2013. And I was a classical guitar player back then. And so when he asked me, I was like, that's nice, but then now what do I do?
So yeah, it was pretty challenging because his music is very challenging. It's incredibly rewarding when you can play it, but to get to a place where it is rewarding, you have to really work on it. So what happened for me was my ears improved, and I started becoming more alert on stage, because if you blink, it's gone. Like it's like that kind of a gig, You've got to really zone in with everybody and really be conscious of everything. But when you're playing with him, you get the actual lessons. So it was kind of an internship for me.
We want to hear both of them play, right?
Just jamming.
Okay, great, awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, if this is impromptu, I can imagine what rehearsed sets are going to be like.
I haven't played this stuff in a while, so.
This actually takes me back to a very serious question that actually I had done a story on Arinjoy on the Telegraph, again for which I had called Amyt Datta. And he gave me a quote saying that বাড়িতে গিটার নিয়ে ঘুমাতে হবে না, মানে you have to be very active with it. So I just wanted to, I did really like that quote that you gave me, you know. বাড়িতে গিটার নিয়ে ঘুমালে মানে you really can't call yourself a musician that way unless you are doing things with the guitar. So I just wanted to know that a lot of people who keep asking questions on social media, even I also do a little bit of music, they keep asking me also, even my bandmates are here. So they ask that, you know, how is it to get going, you know, in music? How serious is it, you know, you have to become a musician? I mean, a lot of people don't get that. They think that, you know, you can just take a guitar and a processor on stage and you just plug it in, play your fancy patches, get a lot of woos and ahs and your day is done. But it's not the case. So how difficult it is and challenging it is, and if you could run us through the life of a musician, because both of you are full-time musicians, like how does the day start and end? What all you do on Sundays? I know that there are classes, so, but I just wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth, how tough it is.
Well, actually, there's no end and start, beginning. It's a cycle that you carry on for years and years and years. And in the beginning, we bled, literally, you know. And especially guitar, I think, is sometimes an abused instrument because it looks sexy and good and it makes you look better than you actually look. So people take advantage of that. You know, but it is a deep thing, you know. I mean, it is a very, very deep thing. I mean, you have to really study it, and it's as deep as anything else. You know, there's European classical or Indian classical, whether you're playing sitar, guitar, I mean, whatever, it's the same thing. So that has to be respected, and it has to be recognized by people in position and the normal people, you know. Like if you ask, luckily no one's yet asked me what you do, because sometimes my students come and very sad-eyed look and they say, you know, someone was asking me, what do you do? And when he said, I play guitar, I said, no, but actually what you do? Mane kajta ki koro? So it's not really taken seriously yet. And that's why if you take the bigger picture, because of that kind of thinking, our country is going through this, you know, low phase. I don't remember the last high phase we went through anyway. But that has to be respected, because what I mean is, with playing music or any art form, that opens your mind, and in return you start becoming a wider thinking people. And everything else, if you think carefully, everything else kind of divides. But music unites, you know. But that has to be respected. And it is like you said earlier, guitar especially is, or music anyway, it's not fun. It is fun, but it's serious fun. You got to spend, like, at least I remember about one part of life when I was much younger, for about 10 or 12 years, I spent 12, 14 hours a day practicing. And if I was breathing and if I was awake, I was playing guitar or writing something or thinking or composing, trying. So that kind of effort goes in. It's as difficult as anything else in life. In fact, it's tougher because we are on duty 24 hours. You know, when you wake up at 5:30 in the morning to do your business in the loo, the first thing comes to your head is, oh, I should have played that chord, or I shouldn't have played that chord. So you're kind of constantly on duty. So, you know, that kind of, it's hard stuff. Gifts come from the sky like rain, you know. Then you cannot handle so many gifts that you get. So that, to get that, takes a lot of blood, sweat and tears out of you. And it is definitely a dignified job in life to play guitar.
Very much.
Know? Yeah.
Arinjoy is thinking.
No, I'm listening.
Were you like thinking that what to answer after this? But yeah, even if you have something to say on this, because I know for a fact that you also are a very busy musician. Though even when you are not touring, you are busy. When you are touring anyway, you'll get busier. But so run us through your, you know, how do you go about your business?
Generally, I'm somebody who teaches a lot, like following after. So yeah, so my schedule is filled with classes mostly. When I'm not teaching, I'm rehearsing with my band, or I'm doing some songwriting or something, Mostly I'm at cafes. And but it's also, I think, healthy to have like another hobby or something, just to keep your mind at bay.
Right.
So I've gotten into basketball. So,
What?
so not like playing, but I'm watching a lot of.
Oh, okay.
I'm now looking to play.
I was about to, correlate basketball and US and the Blues, and maybe there's some connection, some cosmic connection somewhere, which is probably pushing Arinjoy towards the sport.
I'm watching a lot of old videos and interviews and everything.
Okay.
So
Of
yeah,
basketball players primarily?
Yeah.
Okay,
documentaries, and yeah, that's been my hobby since the pandemic.
All right. Amita, you have anything which is non-musical, but then it inspires you to do music? Something like this?
Eating.
Teaching music?
Eating.
Oh, eating! Eating, okay.
So I love food. I mean, I don't think about food all the time, but when I eat, I eat.
He still can.
I can still. But it's not that I've seen people when they're eating lunch, they will talk about, this is what I'm going to have for dinner. That's kind of sick. But
You're not living the moment that way.
yeah, I mean, you're not even enjoying your food at that time, that's kind of a glut. But I enjoy. I mean, I enjoy the cup of coffee and have a sec. And for me, I mean, even for Arinjoy, it's not that cup of coffee itself.
The conversation.
But the coffee, the conversation, standing outside with the fairy lights, have a cigarette,
Right.
looking into the sky. That whole thing is romantic. Is music to me. So everything comes with that is also great too, and music comes from there.
Calcutta has changed quite a lot over the years, and while coming here, I was just talking to Arinjoy, and he told me that you should definitely ask questions on food, to Amyt Datta. And so, yeah, I mean, you've been playing from a very different time when we were not born. I mean, probably in the 70s. So from then till today, I mean, what is the cultural change? I mean, there are a lot of changes, but then what is that drastic change, one or two, that you see in this city with respects to the nightlife and the music and the gigs? So whatever little things that you have observed.
Well, there are two sides, I mean, like if you go back, say 25 years or 30 years, it was downtime. Even earlier, I was much, much, much younger then. I remember load shedding and power being cut off for hours and all that. And then there was a saying like, what is that word for not our culture? What was that? What is that word? It's not our culture. You cannot do this Western music and all that. There's a term for it in Bengali. Achha. That was a heavy issue then, and I was just beginning to go out alone and staying up outside. That kind of age. Right. So that took out a lot of bands and a lot of music out of the restaurants and the bars because the excess tax were put on the restaurant owners.
Right.
So because of that, the musicians really died out and this band culture died out. But soon after that, it took off a little bit when we started playing when we were 17 or 16 or something.
Shiva or before?
No. 16, 17, I was playing in small time bands like in around the block. Like for uncles' weddings and whatever. And I did play, I asked for the gigs because I just wanted to play. I didn't give a shit about the money.
Okay.
But I just wanted to be on that stage and experience that and learn more from the better musicians and stuff like that. So anyway, and then when we started playing with other bands like Airwave and stuff like that, then the college gigs used to have a lot of this what they call rock concert.
Yes.
But whatever kind of music there were, but they only called it rock concert. It could have been the hardcore jazz, but they called it rock concert. I don't know. I still don't know. So then things looked up. Mm-hmm. But now, thanks to guys like you, there's a stage. So there's a statement happening there. You're trying to say something that we do support music, not as an entertainment only, but it's a serious statement that some people can come up and put across.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, you play one hit song that I like and I got, that song I was listening when I was, dating my wife or whatever. Not only that, but there's an issue that it's like you are trying to project some message, a serious message. People might not realize that, but I'm sitting on the stage, however high or however small it is a stage. It is higher from the normal platform. So it is given a respect anyway. So I better fit that. So if you're not worth it, you don't have the right to come on that stage. So guitar players especially, I played a lot of gigs or whatever. Someone comes and tells me, "Oh, I played this gig, that guy." I don't. So for me personally, I really don't care. I would like to use a better word, but I really don't care. I only care about, are you worth that stage?
Right.
Have you paid your dues? And he's one of those guys. He is really worth. I mean, he's probably a lot of blues or whatever. I mean, but other than that, people know him as the blues guy. He can play. He understands jazz. He understands classical music. He understands my music. He's
played the classical guitar also.
Yeah, I mean, see, I tell you, I'm not talking about the playing part so much. I'm talking about the deeper understanding. And you could play European white classical music, but that also gives you, material to play the blues, which is black music.
Right.
So it's a very deep thing. So what I mean is, and due to this YouTube and support like you and all that, it's a very good situation now.
We listen to something small again.
Have you ever loved a woman so much you tremble in pain? Have you ever loved a woman so much you tremble in pain? All the while you know she bears another man's name. Have you ever loved a woman so much it's a shame and a sin? Have you ever loved a woman so much it's a shame and a sin? All the while you know she belongs to your very best friend. you love that woman. So much it's a shame and a sin. You know you love that woman so much you can't leave her alone. All the while you know you can't break your best friend's happy home.
Whoa, that's the blues. Thank you so much, Arinjoy, for. I was thinking that you were going to do a blues song. But my next question is to you that I was talking to Amyt about the yesteryears. I'm going to go back to him again, but just trying to link the conversation. He was part of bands like Shiva back in the day, and when we were growing up, we used to hear about Shiva, and later on we got to meet a few members, and then we understood the struggle that they had back in the day. How was it, your meeting with Amyt Datta, if you can remember, if you go back in time? When was the first time you met him, and what were your memories of his earlier projects? I mean, maybe you have seen Skinny Alley or you had seen Pink Noise. And
So I was
Shiva, I don't think both of us have seen live.
I have not. So yeah, I missed out on D for Brother and Shiva. But when I was 15 years old, so my dad and his friend were from the same school as he. We were all part. I'm also from Don Bosco Park Circus. So yeah, there was a connection there. So I wanted to learn more. I was already learning from somebody. Mr. Pradeep Dev was my teacher, and I wanted to go to the next level. So, we saw him play on TV. I think there was a program on ETV called Jhora Shomayar Gan. Okay. So he was playing there. So I wanted to learn from him, and I was taken there to his place. So first thing I noticed was so he was teaching and everything. So the students were pretty intimidating as well. So I was like, yeah, I know these chords and and somebody's like playing some really like complicated stuff. I'm like, shit, I feel like feel stupid here. Yeah, and I talked to him, and he was, and he was the one who taught me, how to define a chord and what is this, what is that, like basic theory. I started with that. Yeah. So, and it was fun. I got to see another side of music, the real stuff. As far as the performances are concerned, I remember going to
Imami Landmark.
Yeah. And Skinny Alley released their debut album, Escape the Roar, and that was my first a proper band gig that I went to. And it was fantastic. I didn't get to I didn't really understand a lot of the theory that was he was teaching, because I was lazy to work on it, so it's my fault. But what happened was I would go every Sunday just to listen to him play, and that was the trip that I was
education.
Yeah. So, and one of the things I also remember was he took my Gibb tone guitar and he got a beautiful tone out of it. I'm like, how the hell is he getting this tone? So, and I went back home so.
No, but you know what? Sorry to interject.
No, please.
To have the ear to make the difference is where you can see the potential.
Talking about, like he said, about this live performance and studio, both are very different ball games. There are a lot of guitar players in the house. I'm sure they will also have that question. How do you decide that, okay, fine, this song demands a solo and only till this minute or this fraction or this segment, I'm not going to go beyond that. How does one control that emotion of not playing the solo as long as they want to, and how tough it is to be smart and control your playing and play to the song's potential? I know it's a very, it can have different answers. It can maybe have a long answer also.
That's a great question anyway. See, firstly, if you're a musician, guitar player or whatever, guitar, see, I have to go not too long, but a little bit, just to explain what it is actually, to answer this question. Guitar is an instrument It can fill up a small place, beautiful, intimate place like this and be romantic and everything. And it can also go up on the 90,000 people stadium and project itself to the last row.
Right.
So it's got this inner genetic quality of being overpowering. And plus it looks beautiful, it's great shape and everything. So there's a tendency of all guitar players, I want to play solo from now till tomorrow night or something. But you are the slave of the music, no matter how good it is, no matter how good you are. So when I go to a studio, I have to play for a film or something like that, I just play what the song demands. I played for a movie called Madly Bangali.
Yeah. Yes.
And the
Cult
story,
movie.
yeah. And the story is the 4 young kids, high school guys, got a band and they're playing tunes and concerts and all that. But this is my thing. I never really discuss it outside, but to my students here, sure, this whole story that I'm going to tell you, or the thought. And I was hired to play guitar. So I played the parts, but I never played like I would play.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I've been playing for many, many, many years. So in the movie, they showed guys maybe 6 months, ek bachor, So how can they sound someone like who's playing for 50 years or 40 years or 35
Right.
years? So I had to kind of not step down in a bad way, but I had to get into another piece of suit to project that, So I had my tones a little bit faulty in my pedal setting, a little
Yeah.
bit faulty, my bends a little under, that's also takes control, to come down to another place where you are not what you are. And I played the recording like that without sounding wrong or bad. So that's the thing. So you have to listen to the music, the storyline, the whole atmosphere, the whole world of that movie itself,
Right.
the topic, and play towards that. And when we play the acoustic quartet, when we were playing now, it's not really happening now. Actually, it's also happening, but not so much. Then I really play stuff that I would like to play because I know the band is there. I'm getting the feedback from
Right.
the band itself, so I can play to my potential. So it's always not about the solos. It's about the music. Also, another example is in a song, you may have a solo or not, but the song still carries on.
Right.
How many Beatles songs have no solos?
Yeah.
But the greatest, even though they had one of the biggest guitar player in the band, which is George Harrison to me, Paul McCartney. But they didn't have to, but just, that conquered the world. So that is music. It's not like I'm this hotshot guitar player, I'm going to play a solo. You can go die. You don't know what it is.
That's the quote of the evening, by the way.
But don't misunderstand this.
No, absolutely.
You can also arrange a song with 2-line vocals and 10 minutes of
Yes.
solo. You can also have that. It's just about the designing. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
It's not, okay, less solo money on Arinjoy is now mature. No, he could end up playing 10-minute solos.
Yeah, of course.
When he's graying, that could also be a trip. So it has to be valid musically. That's what
Right,
it is. So
right.
it's very ambiguous in a way.
I think one of the things that I ask my students to do is like enjoy the song without the guitar. Like just keep the guitar aside and just listen to the song,
Yeah.
and just see if you're enjoying it. First and foremost, like if you're still itching to like take the guitar and play, like, that's fine. You can like
Right.
jamming along with the tracks helped us grow as well. But just enjoying the song for what it is, the lyrics, the composition. If you're into that, you'll know what to play actually.
Right.
It'll
right.
guide you. You will tell yourself, okay, this song needs like a 4 choruses of solo, or this song just needs 1 guitar part.
Right.
It'll tell you.
It'll
But
tell
you'll
yeah.
have to enjoy the song first as a fan, as just a listener.
I'm very curious to know about the kind of things that happened in the gigs at 70s, 80s Kolkata, because you've toured so much. You're a heavily toured musician. You've played with so many people. So tell us a little bit about your Shiva days. How things were back then, and I am sure, somewhere down the line, I don't know if you miss that or not, because you are doing equally well right now in a very different way, in your own way. But that was your rock band phase with Shiva and a lot of other rock stars of Calcutta that time. So what all you remember from those days and the stories that's very close to your heart, if you can share a couple of memorable incidents from the tours of Shiva or any other band later on also. I mean, it could be Skinny Alley or it could be Pink Noise.
Well, my first band that I really learned from is a band called Airwave. That's where I learned how to sit in a band, not to be just a part of the band, but how to be the inner, like a component of the band, you know what I mean? Anyway, that was a great lesson. And then as I kept working, and then whatever bands, and then I went through, and then Shiva was another learning experience, as then I started playing to larger crowds and very hostile crowds, and to tame them. And my bandmates were also very wicked, so they would very often tell me, you go up and tame them, you play your chops, whatever, and then we'll come in. So in the beginning I was a little bit, what the hell, but then I took up the challenge, and the same guys who were shouting and it kind of became fans of ours. But like he says, the stage, how to behave on stage, how you become this personality and stuff like that. And we used to travel a lot, but not so much by plane, but by train, Delhi. And every gig I remember in Delhi, almost every gig ended up in a fight. The crowd, not in the band though.
Did they get into a mosh pit or something? Like
no,
we see these days?
Those days mosh and all were all very cagey stuff. They were like serious
fights.
Guys like knifing and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
I've seen knifing as I was playing solo.
What?
I saw the silver thing going into someone's body. I saw it. And many other funny stories like that. This is not fun, but... and I stopped playing. 2 notes were bummed,
Yeah, I mean, that's not something that you would like to see from a stage, right?
Yeah.
I mean...
And they started a fight with cops, and we had so many gigs. I remember in Pune, we were playing a gig, and the ministers were having a meeting next block or next building. Sound was traveling, so the cops came and stopped us. But the crowd took on behalf of us and started bamboo charging the cops with the fences. They took off the fences and they charging. They were riot, and we were playing a Doobie Brothers tune called Dangerous.
Wow.
Like a real rock and roll. And sometimes we go into the hotel, and especially in the, and there is no space in my own bed, on my own bedroom, in my own hotel room, because guys, I don't know how they got the keys, they got into the room, and my clothes were taken away, and not by stealing, but they just wanted to have my T-shirt or whatever.
Oh, like that, okay.
Yeah, but please ask me.
The rock and roll life, as we say.
But so we came back in the same old stuff. So yeah, I mean that kind of fun, and also learning and be toughen up. No sleeping, partying till late night, catching taking the car, coming down to the airport, which is 2 hours away, getting the flight back, coming back home, catching the night train back to Pune, Bangalore, and for years and years we did it, So you kind of become tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you sleep. All we needed is a good bath. That's it.
Right.
And then we are on again. I'm much younger though. I can still do it though. But it was like learning that way, And then when I got into playing with serious guys like Louis Banks and Pam, and then I really kind of got my chops together, and then I had guys in the band trying to light up a cigarette for half an hour.
What?
Because he's missing it. So yeah, I mean, so things like that, and many more such stories which are almost unmentionable right now. But so we had fun and learned.
Oh my God. Arinjoy, anything you want to share from your tours? I mean, I know that it's nothing compared to Amyt Datta's years of experience, but then even whatever you have experienced the last 10-15 years of professional guitar playing, funny incidents only.
So I was the funny incident generally. No, I mean, my gigs were relatively low-key compared to these, like, very organized and, but I did a few shows back in the day. I had a band called Jackrabbit back in the day.
Yes, Jackrabbit, of course.
So I remember a gig we were doing for this news channel, and one of the audience members, they got drunk, and they tried to play the drummer's cymbal.
Okay.
And he crashed right then. And he was like, oh! so he crashed on his hand. So stuff like that was happening. Then
You mean he crashed on the right time?
right time.
Oh, wow.
So he was a drunk metronome guy, sort of.
So, and my drummer had a lot of conviction in that stroke.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that was happening. I remember turning back and trying to coordinate with the conga player, and there was somebody else playing congas from the audience.
One of those gigs where audience goes up on stage and tries to play every instrument that they want to.
So yeah, I've seen a bit of that.
That's quite painful for the musicians on stage, though.
But talking about this guy is coming up on stage, it is very irritating.
It is very
Once
irritating.
I was playing in, I don't remember where, in Nagpur or something like that. It was like a concert. And one guy he liked it so much, he came up on stage and wouldn't go off stage. And he was almost standing on my pedals, and that time he had storm boxes, I still
Right.
had. And they go, if you touch it or move it, it moves, its setting goes haywire.
Yeah.
So I was really wild. And I was thinking in my mind, I hope he falls off stage and breaks his leg. After half an hour, the organizer came up in between a song and said, any doctor in the crowd? But this guy fell and broke his leg.
We can have a small tune before we go on to the last segment. We can take some questions after that from the audience. Maybe choto kore kichu ekta alpo kore.
Thrill is gone. Thrill has gone away from me. The thrill is gone. Thrill has gone away from me. You done me wrong. Gonna be sorry someday. The thrill is gone. The thrill has gone away for good. The thrill is gone. The thrill has gone away for good. Done me wrong. Feeling sorry like a poor man should. I'm free from your spell, baby. I'm free from your spell now. I'm free from your spell. Free from your spell now. Now that you're gone, all I can do is wish you well.
That had a pin drop silence even till the last note. I'm going to close this segment now and quickly, I mean, Arinjoy, I know that you have new work coming up. I mean, if you can talk about that a little bit, about your new EP that's coming. And Amyt, what are your plans for this year? Because we are only in March. The kind of music that you are working on right now, where people can listen to you. I know there's Spotify, of course, but if you want to talk a little bit about the music that you are doing right now, it will be great, because a lot of us are very much interested to see you live more often than you are playing now.
I know.
Of course, I mean, the sessions with Onjonda is very different from your own sessions.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but if you can talk a little bit, both of you, about your work that's coming up this year, because it's still very much in the initial stages.
So
This year.
we'll be releasing the Arinjoy Trio, which is basically me, Akash Ganguly on bass, and Shonok Roy on drums. We'll be releasing our new EP in hopefully a couple of months. Everything's done, and he was the producer on it, so
That's why I asked that question,
Yeah,
because I know
so-
it's going to lead to that as well.
so it was fun working with him as always. This is there are some new things on this album. There'll be horn sections, string arrangements.
Wow.
So
Amita, what's your plan for the next few months, and where can we see you play, and of course hear you play the new stuff that's coming up?
Kind of similar. I mean, like I'm in the middle of recording my Amyt Datta Electric Power Quartet. I think we are releasing 8 songs, 7 are done.
Wow.
One is there to be done yet, and some parts have been done. I mean, I think my part is still there to be done. And then maybe middle of this year I'll record my album, which is even Electric Quartet is my music, but I've written another set of songs which is completely different to what I've been doing.
Right.
And I think in that album is closer to what I am after so many years, or hopefully at least that. So that's the plan. And tour is the same thing. That's the plan. But you know what? I tell you what. I mean, people say, why don't you come here? You should plan to go there. If we given a choice, both of us, or any musician, even those guys, you would play every day of the month. Every day of the month. But someone has to organize it and pay the bills and handle the logistics.
A lot of finances are
We are
involved.
doing our job. We've been doing our job all our lives. That means practicing, honing our art, writing, putting out albums or whatever on our own strength. But on the outer periphery, that system has to support us.
There's one question there, I think.
Okay.
They do the sound check. Some musician, when they're playing the guitar, the other plays another instrument, the other plays another instrument. So, how much do you think on stage the right balance is very important?
The idea is to discipline yourself. You could be a hippie or a freak or whatever, free-flowing guy, but some kind of discipline. If we 3 of us playing in a band, I would wait for him to do his check, and then we play together, and then
these are the things.
the little disciplines, and then we also have this problem of blaming or putting everything to the sound engineer, which is not the case. Most of the time is the band who's at fault. We are not mixed rightly on stage, and we always say, eta shunte pacchi na, my guitar is too soft. You're not bloody playing it with projecting it nicely, But there are also the other side. Engineers sometimes suck. I mean, so that is also there. So,
No,
I
that's
don't care.
what we wanted to hear, actually.
Yeah.
I am sure.
Raw and
Okay, Auditro has a question.
That's that, Junaid, who always taught us that the production is in your hands. And I mean, I think we're understanding it like more and more every single day.
Right.
So when it comes to sound balancing on stage, on this side of the crowd, on the inside, what are your thoughts?
Meaning you are being on stage? Okay. Firstly, if it's a small venue, you got to be mixing yourself on stage without any fallbacks, any wedges, any monitors, nothing. As if like when you're playing in the room, when you practice, no matter how dingy it is or how small, you're most comfortable in your practice pad. It becomes, because you're playing there every day. So try and get that feel as much as possible. Sometimes people they come too close. They come close and become comfortable. But on a large stage, it just looks small. You don't project, you have to spread out. Then you rely on the wedges and the monitors and the mixing guy or whatever, monitor, mixer. But you cannot be. Sometimes the drummer is a loud drummer. Maybe he cannot play soft, or the subject itself demands a loud playing, which is okay. Then you can crank it up, but face your amp the other side, so you get the cranked up, juiced up sound, but not blasting the band. Especially the singer, because the mic is a very dangerous thing. It kind of bleeds into the mic and goes on the PA, and then in order to put the guitar soft, the voice goes down. So all those kind of nitty-gritty, the band has to talk it over and really understand. And also, orithro, right? Orithro, you also arrange your music in a way that everything is heard. It's not, you arrange it when there's, says he's singing and he's singing like a whispering thing. You kind of don't have to literally whisper your guitar, but you probably mid-scoop your guitar, so it only, the low and the highs comes, the mid goes out. So in the mid is where he sits in. So this is called equalization allocation. You EQ it in different places. So there are a million things like that I can tell you, but that's one of the ways to design yourself. Yeah.
Sometimes like when we're doing the mixing of a song, and
Yeah.
we are sometimes never happy when is the final mix and when
Yeah.
we're ready. So when do you think like suppose you're complete with the song,
Yeah.
and still like you feel like okay, I wish I would have mixed that much better.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're trying to release a song, how do you feel that okay, I'm now satisfied and still like you want to put it out? Or sometimes like our mind changes, like even if you're mixing.
When is the mix ready?
Yeah.
Well, it's good to be happy, but it's bad to be satisfied. You know what I mean? Because you never get satisfied ever. I mean, it's not finished till it's finished. And but yeah, you keep your senses alive, and you have deadlines to meet and be practical, and kind of overall feel good factor. I mean that it should feel good. Everything should be clear, and then. But otherwise you can take the mix again and again and again every day, and it'll be different every time. But then sometimes it doesn't work. It can work adversely. It could work like it can become worse because you're overdoing it. You're messing it up. So yeah. But another trick, I'll tell you something like that to answer your question is usually a human being, our ears can only pay attention to 3 components. So anything other than that can be very quietly, very tactfully, very cleverly hidden. It's there, but it's not going to overload your main message that you're trying to send, whether it's instrumental music or vocal music. So those little things you have to keep in mind. It's like science, you know what I mean? It's like science. So. Well, yeah, it takes days and days for me to explain that, but that's one of the short tricks that you can keep in mind, yeah.
Anyone else? I think, okay, this never-ending questions coming up suddenly. Please.
My question is to Arinjoy. How was the feeling where to share the same stage with Kingfish and Buddy Guy?
I think I did not plant him. I missed this question. I wanted to ask, I forgot in this conversation. Great, thank you.
Yeah, it was obviously it was fun. There was a bit of pressure on me to kind of be myself, but I just take when the first few bars go, then I'm comfortable generally. So I think Christone is an incredibly nice person, like a very warm, nice person, and he gave me all the space to play. And for a moment I was thinking, won't you play also? So he's that welcoming. And it's fun to sort of get a taste of playing with those bands as well. Of course, like playing with them, like sharing the stage with Buddy Guy is like a dream come true. But also playing with his band, like you feel different when you play. So it was a lot of fun.
Did you guys have a conversation? So just adding to his question. If you could tell us what was the conversation like with Buddy Guy and Kingfish?
I didn't have a conversation with Buddy Guy, I just introduced myself. I was too scared to have a conversation. But Kingfish, we were talking about different kinds of things we are listening to. Mm-hmm. I asked him what basketball team he supports.
Oh, okay.
I actually did. But just generally guitar gear talk. Mm-hmm. The best thing that I like about going in the Mahindra Blues is that you're part of this larger world community. Mm-hmm. You meet people from all across the world. You hear about their experiences, And Taj Mahal's drummer is from Trinidad.
Yes.
We connected on cricket. I met his guitar player. He's from Hawaii, so he knows Devashish Bhattacharya. And,
Okay.
So he's following them as well.
So basically, all
Yeah.
the soundscapes are connected somewhere through
Yeah, yeah.
people
So
or through music or through lifestyle
the
or
world
sports
is-
or something or the other.
The world is smaller than you think. I mean,
Right.
it's and really cool people, all of them, and they've been doing it for years. I met a bass player who played with Hendrix.
Wow. You made a bass player who played with Jimi Hendrix. Oh, what is he doing now?
Playing with Taj Mahal. So
This is a very small world.
yeah.
This is a very small world.
Back in the day, he would jam with Hendrix, and so
Right.
you get to hear stories, and like it's a lot of fun just being there. So
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for turning up at the Salzsee Podcast. We are doing this for the first time. Please support us, like our page on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Kaffee Am Salzsee, like our page on Instagram, Kaffee Am Salzsee. And thank you, Amyt Datta, thank you, Arinjoy, for having this lovely conversation. I wish it went on and on and on, but I'm sure if this is successful, we're going to have a second season again. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming and supporting us. Thank you very much.